we're anticipating the 100th anniversary of The Rite of Spring. And it's really hard for me to believe that this work is that old. It still has a certain freshness, brashness, modernism in it. Certainly it's a virtuoso piece for orchestra. It's a virtuoso sounding in the way Stravinsky writes for a massive orchestra. He uses a lot of instruments that are rarely used in the symphony orchestra, like a bass trumpet, an alto flute, massive amounts of percussion, and just everything about it, rhythmically, melodically, harmonically, is so fresh that to say that this piece is 100 years old seems rather ludicrous to me. The sounds that he created were sounds that no other composer had up to that point. You know, it was a matter of not only being a good orchestrator, which is what he was. He, after all, studied with Rimsky-Korsakov. But that the combinations of sounds that he created within the string section, within the woodwind section, combining colors and rhythms between the sections, just something that no one had done up to that point. So it's no wonder we look at him as maybe the most influential composer of the last 2 centuries. One of the more infamous premieres, it premiered in the Théâtre des Champs-Élysées in Paris, and I believe the first half of this ballet evening incorporated music of Chopin, which everyone knows is very lush and romantic, and then everyone had their little intermission, and then they were completely blasted by this modern piece of music. It created a lot of havoc in the hall. People were booing, they were hissing. Then people who liked it were arguing with the people who were booing. That escalated into more raucous sounds. The police were finally brought into the theater to try to break up the arguments. Then I don't remember, it was Diaghilev or Nijinsky, the fellows who were responsible for the ballet portions, they were standing on a chair just out of the view of the audience, yelling and screaming the counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, in order to keep the dancers together, because the noise, the cacophony out in the audience was so loud, the dancers couldn't hear the music. So it was a rather infamous premiere to what is now considered one of the greatest masterpieces ever written. I have to give credit to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra and a gentleman named Gerard McBurney, who is a British musicologist, composer, and basic musical sleuth. He has created a number of programs called Beyond the Score for the Chicago Symphony, and what these are first half of concerts. They are dramatic presentations involving narrators, actors, and historic footage, which places the work in question in context, in its history. 2 years ago, we did such a program about the Dvorak New World Symphony, and it was such a huge success that we wanted to bring it back. And having the centennial of the Rite of Spring be upon us, this seemed like the perfect opportunity to bring back Beyond the Score.